Good morning. Maddie's not in her room, so I bet she's in Sissy's room. We really probably should get her own TV, but it creates bonding time. Doing bracelets.
I was gonna make a little stroller just like Autumn's with this on the bottom, so I can bring Maxwell in the stroller for Disney.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Are y'all grouchy?
No, Maddie came in a few minutes ago, and guess what?
What?
I was so tired that I woke up at 7 when I usually just wake up at 6.
Oh my goodness. It took swimming and all kinds of stuff for you to actually wake up later.
Hey, Mom.
What time did you wake up, Maddie?
She woke up at 7 something.
Oh.
Well, she mostly just came into my room.
Oh.
My eyes were half open when you came in and said it, and when you were gonna say goodnight, see you tomorrow, remember?
I do, I remember. I'm gonna go get Autumn. Y'all wanna come?
Yes. Wait.
Okay, come on. Come open it. Oh, it's stinky in here, Mama.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's stinky. That doesn't work. Ooh, it's smelly, Mama. Oh my gosh. That's why it's smelly. We had a poop explosion. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Having a little bit of outside play. They had breakfast. I'm working on my blog post.
Mommy, vlog me.
I'm vlogging you. Y'all be careful. Do not kick Autumn. They're playing soccer. Yeah. And I've determined today we use this spray. I don't like it at all. It comes out really weird. It doesn't spray very nicely. I don't like it. I wouldn't recommend that one. There's definitely better ones out there. So they're going to play. Maddie, we don't always win. That's not nice. It doesn't matter. Okay? Hi. It's a ball. Finally opened up that Mickey wand that my stepdad got for them for a long time ago, and Autumn really wanted to blow bubbles and she really couldn't figure out the regular bubble maker, so we're going to have a lot of fun in Disney with bubbles everywhere. It's so much easier than to have to blow them yourself. They're really tiny though. I didn't expect them to be that little. Cool. Put it up, Mama. Hold it up. She said, this is mine. It's not yours. It's all of yours, Autumn. You have to share. She's a baby of few words, but she knows what she wants. I think we're fading fast. It's so hot outside. Don't mind my crazy hair. I washed it yesterday just to get in the pool, and I wasn't planning on getting it all wet, and then my brother ended up dunking me. So there's that. I'll have to wash it again today. I sprayed some conditioner in it last night because we got home really late, and so that's why it looks like an oily mess, because I have conditioner in it. I'm gonna rewash it today. But anyway, I was going through comments, and it makes me really sad that I don't go through comments more frequently, because it's like a double-edged sword, a catch-22, whatever other little analogy you want to use there. It's like, I love reading you guys' comments, but the negative ones are what affect me, but there have been no negative ones, and so it's like I want to go back and read more comments and see how many positive people there are in the world and how many supportive people there are. And so I've been making more of an attempt, and someone was like, oh, she doesn't reply to comments anymore. And I'm like, that's so sad. I don't want subscribers to have to tell other subscribers, oh, you know, sorry, your question won't get answered because she doesn't reply to comments. Like, that's not true. I don't want to be that person that somebody thinks that is too good to not reply to comments. So thank you guys for all the love and support. And so many of you, like literally so many of you, I've never had for any vacation that we've taken that I filmed, vlogged, or talked about, I have never got as many questions, comments, advice, never, on one vacation than I have Disney. And I so appreciate that. I am going to be a Disney expert by the end of this, I swear. One question that I got that I thought was actually a really great question, I'm gonna read it to you guys because I think this is totally legitimate question, and I think it's something that probably a lot of you are thinking, but it's from Miss Anna 4040, and it was on my Disney haul. It says, this might seem like an odd question. When you were growing up, did your mom do Disney like you do, getting all Disney clothing and new clothes and items for vacation? I've never even thought about that. We just took our regular clothing and things and didn't spend a whole lot of time planning. I noticed a bunch of people do as you do and was wondering if it's just something you are used to doing because that's what your mom did when you grew up. It seems like so much work and money, but I love the videos and they're fun watching. I hope your family has a wonderful time. And I thought that was a really relevant question and a very good thing to ask, because I know so many people wonder the exact same thing. Well, if I don't do Disney and I don't do this vacation like how I see these Pinterest moms do this vacation, is it going to be a great vacation? I think that's such a great question to ask, and it hits home. So, and I already replied back to her. Thank you so much, Miss Anna. I'm assuming that Anna's your name, for the question. And I look at it like this. So growing up, if you don't know this about me, I've mentioned it before, but if you're new and you don't know this, growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. My mom was a single parent for a long time. My stepdad didn't come into the picture until we were already a lot older. So she was a single parent with my brother and I, and she worked 2 jobs to make ends meet, and we just didn't have a lot. We had what we needed, and that was it. You know, we didn't live in a big fancy house. We didn't have fancy clothing. We didn't have a lot, and I'm actually very grateful for that, and I feel like I am humble and appreciative and a hard worker because of how my mom raised us, which is, you know, I don't even really want to get into like, oh, if you were raised more well off, like you turn into a brat, or nothing like that, because Andres and I are definitely more well off than we were growing up, both of us were growing up, and I feel like the girls are appreciative and humble because we're raising them that way. So I think there's kind of like a fine line between being appreciative and humble of what you have, even if you're more well off, and then being more appreciative and humble if you have nothing. So I don't know, that's just my thought. I'm totally not saying anything about anyone else's kids, nobody else out there, just from my own experience. So my mom was a super hard worker. We never went on vacation, never. Like, maybe we would go to, actually I don't even really remember going to the beach. We would go camping. That was one thing that we would do. We would do camping weekends with but my aunt would always take us. My mom would come every once in a while, but we would go with Nin, and that was usually what we did every summer. Sometimes we would go in the fall, and that's about it. We went to, yeah, like we've never really, I take that back. As a teenager, we did go to Arkansas to visit my great-grandparents. They lived in my grandma's mom and dad, who are both gone now, but they lived in Little Rock, Arkansas. We did go there, and I remember we stayed in Louisiana once, and we went to Branson, Missouri, because those are all right around Arkansas, and that was the only time that we went. I mean, my mom just couldn't afford it, and like I said, I appreciate her so much for sacrificing, oh, it makes me emotional, sacrificing everything for us, everything. And so I'm totally fine that, you know, we didn't go on vacations. So we weren't raised to like go all out for vacations and different things. It just wasn't how it happened. But I was telling her in the comment, my very first traveling experience was a New York trip. We went to New York City for my senior trip. I went to a magnet high school, and here she comes again. Where are you? Oh, hi, Adam. And my mom and I worked very hard. I worked, like the second I turned 16, I had a job. I worked at Sonic. That was my very first job. And we busted our butts, my mom and I, to raise the money for me to go to New York for my senior trip. I want to say it was like $500, and that included plane ticket, hotel stay, and, you know, our touristy things and food. And back then, I mean, I graduated high school in 2005. Even 13 years ago, I mean, I was making minimum wage. Minimum wage at Sonic was like $5.25 an hour. So, and I had a car payment, and I had a used red Mustang. That was my very first car. And I had a car payment, I had insurance, I had my cell phone, and I had gas. And, you know, and I was living at home, and my mom didn't charge me anything, but she did make me work to pay for part of my trip. She didn't just hand it to me, and I think that's great. I always do that. My girls don't get allowance. We work as a team in this. Oh my God. We work as a team in the house. And again, nothing, I'm like not judging anybody else's parenting style at all. I'm just saying how we do it, how I was raised. My mom couldn't afford to give us allowance. We did our chores, and she gave us what we needed school-wise, and we were in activities when she could afford it. And that's exactly how we run things here. We all have chores, we all work together. Now that's not to say they won't eventually get allowance, like especially Emmy is going to be 9 this year. Eventually we're going to incorporate some sort of allowance with chores and stuff behind it to earn it. We do other things to earn money, and you know, we do other things, but that trip was my first trip, and I had to work for it, you know. So I mean, yes, most high school kids don't get to go somewhere cool like New York for their first trip, but it was only because of school. My mom, we wouldn't have been able to afford to go if it hadn't been for school. So after we went on that trip, I had the travel bug. I was like, oh, I want to travel. I want to see so many things. And pretty shortly after I graduated high school, Andres and I met. We met in February of 2006. So I hadn't even been, I was in college. I hadn't even been out of high school for not even a year by the time him and I met. And because of that, he was a lot more well off when I met him. Definitely not where he is right now, but more well off than I was at the time, because he's nearly 10 years older than I am. So he was living on his own. He had a good job, and I was just a college kid, you know. And so him and I were able to build a better life together than we were separate. He really hadn't traveled too much, although he's from California. So he grew up in Mexico and then moved out to California and stayed with his dad's side of the family, and he traveled a little bit, but not a whole lot. He really hadn't had too much traveling under his belt. So the first place we went was LA in 2006, and pretty much ever since then, like when it was just him and I, we were better together, more well off together than we were apart, like I said, but we still had to stick to a very strict budget. You know, it was like we wanted to travel, but we needed to make sure we stayed within our means. It wasn't anything like it is now. We didn't buy, first off, we didn't have kids, but we didn't buy a whole lot of extra. Maybe we would get like a new swimsuit or a new outfit or something. But if I go back and look at pretty much every vacation that we've had up until the last maybe 3 vacations or so, it was all clothes that I had owned. Really, or I bought a couple new things on the trip. I owned those clothes. I owned everything. I didn't go out and buy new things just for a vacation. So it wasn't necessarily any way that I was raised or something that I looked at like, oh, I have to have this to have a great vacation. Nothing like that. A lot of people do these types of things for Disney. They get matching shirts, matching outfits. They buy new things for Disney. And I don't think that those things are necessary. Even though I've done them all, I bought new outfits, I bought new little toiletries or new toys or DIY'd a bunch of stuff or Pinterest a bunch of stuff. Those things are not necessary to go on vacation to Disney and have a great time. Do I think they're worth it and great things to have? Certainly. But if you're, I told her this too, I always say, do what's best for your family. Just because I'm doing something like this doesn't mean that it'll work the same for your family. And that's totally cool. Like, I don't feel that if we had a conversation and you're like, oh, we went to Disney World, but I had to stay on a really teeny tiny budget, and we didn't get to do character meals. We had to bring snacks in the park, and we only got to stay for 3 days instead of 12. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my God, that was a vacation. That's all you got to do. Not at all. And if somebody makes you feel like that, they're not good friends to begin with, because I think highly of anybody that is able to save and budget for any type of vacation for their family. The memories are going to be there. The girls aren't going to remember all the outfits that mommy spent time budgeting for, like, they're not going to remember those things. They're going to remember getting to meet Mickey and Minnie and riding all the cool rides. And the other stuff is for me. The other stuff is for me to look back on the pictures and see, the time that I spent in the outfits and the DIYs, and see if they work or they don't work, or because I have time. If I was working full time and trying to budget this any other way, I wouldn't have done that. The cruise, I bought a few outfits for all of us. But prior to that, like, let's see, prior to the cruise, we went to Colorado. I did have to buy the snowsuits, but that was like a totally different thing. I didn't buy outfits other than that. And then prior to that, we went to Disney. Last time we were in Disneyland in California, I didn't buy all those crazy outfits. I didn't know anything about this. So my whole moral of the story and sharing the comment and stuff with you is that even if it's not how you grew up and you weren't, raised in that type of environment, do what works best for your family. If the way that somebody else is doing it is not the way you're doing it, don't let anybody feel bad for the way that you can afford it, the way that you're doing it, nothing. Because even though I did budget in when I was planning the whole trip and I was writing down, how much I wanted to spend for the total trip, which, by the way, when I'm done with everything, I will tell you how much the entire trip cost us. I have nothing to hide. I mean, you can, by what I'm telling you, you can go and figure out how much everything is. But I will tell you how much we ended up spending so that you can get an idea of how much you can budget for and things like that. But when I was figuring out how much I wanted to spend on everything, I factored in the cost of extra little outfits and little toys and things like that. And if that's not something that works well for you, don't do it. Don't do it. Like, your kids are gonna look back at the pictures and think, and remember all the other great memories, and not like, oh, that was such a cute outfit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just thought that was a really great question, because I know from just the Facebook group alone, there are moms and families out there that are being shamed for not doing it a certain way. And I think that is the most hurtful, ridiculous thing I have ever heard of, because there are families in this world that just realistically cannot afford vacations, and there's nothing wrong with doing a vacation however you can to get those memories for your family, even if you're on a teeny little budget. Nothing wrong with that, nothing. And I make sure my girls know that too. Like, even though they as children have got to see more than, or just about as much as I've got to see as an adult, I don't ever let them forget that they can take this whole thing for granted. They work for the money that they get to spend. When we leave, they get it taken away if they don't act right or they talk back or whatever. It is definitely a privilege for them to go and not a right, and I make sure that they know that.
Are we going to Grandma's house today?
No. Grandma's coming over later. We're not going to go over there. She's going to come over here. So yeah, they know I do not play. Mommy and Daddy work very, very hard to provide trips and provide fun things and stuff for them to do, and you start to not act the right way, act unappreciative or any type of way. I know for the most part everyone's like, oh, your children are so well behaved, but when they're not, don't think Mama Bear doesn't come out and let them know what's what. And I don't play even on vacation. I don't let anything get by me. even on vacation. I have no problem still using timeout corners, any types of punishments. Just because you went into like Disney with a certain amount of money on your gift card doesn't mean you're coming out with a certain amount of money on your gift card. You know, things like that. So anyway, I thought I would take the 16 minutes I've been talking here to tell you guys that. For those of you that are curious and that are thinking like, oh my gosh, I could never do Disney. She's going all out. I don't have the money for all of this. No, no. Don't let what I'm doing make you think that it's not possible, that how could I possibly afford this? There are definitely ways to do a trip on way smaller of a budget than what I've had for them. If you guys have any other questions about anything, definitely leave them in the comments below, because I totally don't mind answering things like that. Like, I know some people think it's crazy to go this over the top, and trust me, I mean, I didn't even realize how over the top it was until I started getting into it. And people go even more over their top, if you can believe it, than what I have. So I'm an open book. You guys know that. Anyway, we're just here. The girls are watching movies. They're taking turns watching their shows. Autumn's about to go down for a nap. The girls are gonna have probably some lunch, a little bit of quiet time, and I'll just wait for my mom to come over with Anderson. Girls are doing some crafting for Daddy's birthday. We're waiting for, he's 21. Yeah, I'm sure he'd love that. What are y'all watching? Oh, okay. Special happy birthday shout out to my Hunnie Bunnie, who I know is probably watching right now. I just wanted to say happy birthday. I love you so much. We all love you so much and are so sad that you're at work today on your birthday, but we will be celebrating in Disney soon. So you just wait, my Hunnie Bunnie, you just wait. But happy birthday. We love you so much. Thank you for being the most amazing husband and father anyone could ask for. Date night for my Hunnie Bunnie's birthday. It's been a while since I vlogged. We were chilling at home. Autumn went down for a nap. The girls were making cards and stuff for quiet time. And what was that? Oh, I was posting my blog sale stuff. So I have the link to my blog sale down below. Hopefully there's still some stuff left for you guys. I posted a video. If you follow me on my beauty channel, hkitty1122, that link is also below. But if you follow me over there, you saw the video yesterday for you guys that I posted announcing that the blog sale was live. If you follow me on Instagram, which if you don't, hkitty1122, I posted on there giving like all my Instagram followers a heads up about it, because I had got a lot of Instagram messages regarding the blog sale, and so I thought I would give anyone who follows me over there the heads up. So I did that, and then the next place I posted it is YouTube, and then, I mean, most of you guys follow me other places, but now I'm letting you guys know. I will leave a link down below, and also don't forget to download the Dosh app, link a card. You get $10. I thought you got $5. You get $10, and when you refer people, you get $10 as well. Seriously, like the easiest money alive to make. So easy, it racks up so quick. It's very easy. We all need that little bit of extra summer money, so don't forget to do that as well. I'll also have that link down below. So yeah, my mom and Nin came over and visited with the girls for a little while, and originally we weren't going to do anything. Andres was supposed to work at night today, so we weren't going to do dinner or anything, and they ended up calling him to see if he could come run things during the day instead of at night, and so he did, and we didn't get to do breakfast or anything. So then my mom was there hanging out, and she was like, well, I said, do you want to go? I asked him if he wanted to go to dinner for his birthday, and she was like, well, why don't y'all just go? I'll watch the kids. She has Anderson. And I was like, are you sure? She said, yeah. So she's got all the kiddos at home, and we are coming to eat at P.F. Chang's, which actually, funny enough, I got a gift card, was it last year? I think, to P.F. Chang's, and we haven't been since. So we are going to enjoy ourselves a little birthday dinner tonight, and then go home, and I'll continue to work on vlog sale stuff I need to edit, and maybe do some more Disney DIYs. That's gonna be our day. I was going to let the kids run through the sprinkler, and they just ended up playing outside, and I didn't feel like dealing with the wet and everything right before we left. So my mom was like, just go, I'll worry about dinner and everything. So yeah, P.F. Chang's date night. So a continuation of date night is Academy because my honey bunny, poor thing, needs some new shoes, and he never ever wants to shop for clothes or shoes. And so I told him, I was like, you need some good walking shoes for Disney. So we found ourselves here, and look what they sell, Snacks. So I'm gonna try them on and see. Oh, what happened there? I'm gonna try one on and see how they feel in comparison. They're $38, $40. The teal ones are $38. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm kind of glad I get to try them on in person. These are the yoga sling too. I'm gonna try on a 9. They look kind of small, but they only have a 9 or an 11. So maybe the teal, they have a 10. I'll try them on and let you guys know. Okay, I can't lie. I tried on the 9 and the black, and they fit. They're like right there. So I tried on the 10. The 10 definitely look a lot better. I have extra room up at my toes, but they look a lot better. I can't lie, they're not as comfortable as my ones from Walmart. I feel like they look different. They look strange. They're a lot more firm. So maybe that's why people are able to hold up at Disney for a long time, but I don't know. I could get 4 pairs of my Walmart ones for the price of 1 pair of these. And they don't have black in my color. So I don't think I'm gonna get them. But they do have an alternative here for $15. And then I thought these looked pretty cool. I'm gonna try those on as well. Well, that was a whirlwind of a night. We went to P.F. Chang's, had dinner. It was actually really good. I hadn't been there in years. I had my birthday there, a birthday dinner there like years ago. I want to say I was pregnant, or maybe it was somebody else's birthday dinner. I can't even remember. Came to Academy.
I ran. I'm like, because I'm like, that's how they're like.
Got lucky.
I know.
So we came to Academy to try and get this one some shoes. Pickiest shopper ever. We've been in Academy for about 2 hours. Didn't walk out with any shoes. Tried on like 40 pairs. Then we get in the car and he's like, do you have my phone? I'm like, no. He's like, it's in the basket. Darts inside. Thank goodness it was still there. We literally just walked out. Could have been a very expensive Academy trip and didn't even get any shoes out of it.
That was my workout of the day.
So now we're headed home. My poor mom is probably like, what in the world? Where did they go for dinner? Seriously. Oh, seatbelt. Click it or take it.
Yeah.
See the mother. And sitting in autumn. Can I see mama? In autumn. Can I see mama? Boop.
Night night.
I said, night night. I said for Sissy because she's asleep already.
You're right, she is asleep. Okay, go to bed.
Okay, good night.
Always my last one. Good night. All right, we're headed to bed. Another night of watching wrestling. Paige is back, which is awesome. No, but really, I'm probably gonna watch 13 Reasons Why, and we're probably both going to just fall asleep. I have an early appointment tomorrow morning, hanging with Bea. I'm gonna have Anderson, and it's gonna be a busy day. And my honey's off tomorrow, so yeah. he's like, yay, like jumping for joy, but in his underwear. So yeah. Anywho, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.